In this video, I'm going to show you how to wash your car in the safest possible way in order to reduce the chances of swirls or micro marring to near zero. This is the exact method I use to wash my car every single week, and as you can see, there are no swirls in my paint. So if you want to prevent your car's paint from looking like this, then listen up. Now, just a quick disclaimer, this video does not serve as the only way to safely wash your car. There are many different ways and methods you can use to safely wash your car. However, I personally find this to be one of the best methods and wanted to share it with you guys. So to get things started, let's first go over all the tools you will need in order to wash your car in the safest possible way. Starting off, you need a pressure washer, 3 to 4 wash mitts, a highly lubricated foaming soap paired with a foam cannon, and then lastly, you will need a water deionizer. I'm first going to talk about why each tool I just mentioned is crucial to a swirl-free wash, and then I'm going to show you how to use each tool appropriately to get a swirl-free wash. So the first tool I mentioned is the pressure washer, and the reason you need a pressure washer is because a normal garden hose is not strong enough to remove large dirt and debris from your car when doing a pre-rinse. The stronger water from the pressure washer will remove 90% of heavy dirt, debris, and other contaminants that would be guaranteed to leave swirls on your car when going in for that contact wash. Having a pressure washer is also vital because without it, you can't use the second tool, which is a foam cannon. And the reason a foam cannon is extremely important is because it allows you to spray a thick layer of highly lubricated foam all over your car that you can then use as the soap when going in for your contact wash. This ensures that you have more than an adequate amount of lubrication on the surface of your car, significantly reducing the chances of swirls when going in for that contact wash. And I want to re-emphasize the importance of a lubricated soap here. That is one of the most important things you need in order to prevent swirls when washing. Without an adequate amount of soap on your car or an adequate amount of lubrication, your wash mitts will just drag that dirt along your car and scratch the heck out of it and leave it looking exactly like this. Think of it in this way. It's like shaving your skin with a razor, and if you don't have a super slick shaving cream, you're going to get cut, it's going to scratch your skin, and it's just not going to feel very good. So it's a similar concept with washing your car. If you're new to detailing and you're not sure what is a good lubricated foaming soap, I would strongly recommend the Griot's foaming surface wash that I have right here. I'm not affiliated with them by any means, but this is just a really good product. Now, if you want something that's a little more affordable, I've also been using this Turtle Wax soap right here. That's also pretty good. I've linked both below for you to check out. So the third tool to talk about is wash mitts. And the reason I say you need 3 to 4 wash mitts is so that you have a fresh, clean mitt to wash each side of your car with. And you don't even have to use the type of wash mitts that I'm using right here. A lot of people switch to using microfiber towels that they will fold into multiple segments, essentially giving them 8 wash mitts in one. So that's another way to go about it if you don't want to buy 4 individual wash mitts like I have right here. Now, the last and final tool I mentioned is a water deionizer. What this does is it brings your water hardness down to 0, thus preventing water spots. By using a water deionizer, it allows you to skip the drying process entirely, which means you don't have to use a towel to dry your car, which is another thing that can risk putting swirls on your paint. Okay, so now that we have gone over the 4 most important tools you need, I'm now going to show you how to use each of these tools and what washing your car in the safest possible manner actually looks like. So step 1 is to wash your rims. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth here with how to properly wash your rims. I simply just use the foam for my foam cannon as the lubricant paired with this little finger mitt right here. Pre-rinse the rims, foam them, and then scrub the rims. Be sure and rinse off the mitt if you're using something like this after each rim so that you get your mitt nice and clean. And then just repeat that for each of your rims. Now, I wash my car every 2 weeks and never require a harsh wheel cleaner, which is why I just use the pH neutral foam from the foam cannon. Now, if you have rims that have baked on dirt, haven't been cleaned in months, years, or whatever, you will need to use a dedicated higher pH wheel cleaner. So after you wash your rims, the next step you want to do is a pre-rinse on your entire vehicle. Like I said earlier, this is going to remove 90% of the dirt and debris on your car that is most likely to cause heavy marring or swirls in the paint when you go in for that physical contact wash. So when you pre-rinse your car, use either a 45-degree nozzle or a 25-degree nozzle. Either one's fine. Go around and just pre-rinse the entire car. Okay, so step 3 after the pre-rinse is to foam the first segment of your car that you plan on washing. Do not foam the entire car all at once. Let me repeat that. Do not foam the entire car all at once like you see people doing in 99% of detailing videos out there. Only foam the portions of your car that you plan on immediately washing after with your wash mitt. If you foam your entire car all at once, by the time you get to the latter segments on it, most of that soap is going to have rolled off and you're not going to be left with much lubrication. So to show you guys what this looks like in practice, I personally like to foam the hood of the car, the windshield, the top, and then rear of the car first. After foaming those segments, I immediately will grab my wash mitt and start going in for the contact wash. After I finish with those segments, I'll grab my foam cannon again and I will go and foam either the left or right side of my vehicle. And then just repeat that until the car is clean. Now, just some pro tips for you to be aware of when using your wash mitt is that one, when you're washing the side panels of your car, be sure and start from the top and work your way down. Dirt collects more heavily on the lower portions of your car, as you can see right here, whereas the top half of the car looks perfectly clean. And then again, the bottom half is just absolutely nasty. So for that reason, wash from the top down so that you don't potentially spread dirt from the lower halves up onto the more visible areas of your car that do show and reflect swirls much more. Now, the second technique to use when washing with a wash mitt is to wash in horizontal or vertical motions. Or in other words, drag the mitt along your car in the way that the wind flows over it. The reason for this is that if you do inflict micromarring in your paint, it will not occur in the form of swirls, which reflect light more and look way worse. And the third and final technique to be aware of is when you're using your wash mitt or microfiber towel, be sure and flip it over halfway through each segment on the car so that you have a fresh, clean side. For example, and what I mean by this is when I go to wash the windshield, hood of my car, and the top of the car, I will use one side to wash the hood of my car and the front of my vehicle, and then I will flip it over to the fresh, clean side, and then I will use that to clean the windshield, top of the car, and then rear of the car. All right, so now that you have properly foamed your car and properly washed it with your wash mitts, it is now time to rinse all that soap off your car using deionized water. And because you're using deionized water, you don't need to dry the car afterwards and can completely skip having to dry the vehicle. Now, as you will see in the video, even though I am using deionized water, I still like to use my Ego 765 leaf blower to blow off all the excess water on the car and blow out all the cracks and side mirrors just to help it dry quicker. Again, this is completely unnecessary if you're using deionized water, but I just prefer to do it anyways and don't like leaving my car soaking wet. Now, I know not everyone can afford to use a water deionizer because they are pretty pricey and expensive to buy and then to upkeep. So for that reason, if you do need a more budget-friendly drying option, I would recommend looking into using a drying aid with your drying towel. You can use something like Griot's Speed Shine, Griot's 3-in-1 ceramic wax, or some companies make dedicated drying aids such as Hydrate by Ammo NYC to help dry off your car and provide that extra lubrication with your towel. Because if you didn't know, water does not have lubrication in it. So when you go in with your drying towel and you don't provide anything that does have lubrication, that water and the minerals in your water or just the towel itself can risk scratching or marring the surface of your car. So again, that's why I say if you're using a drying towel, it's best practice if we're talking about safest methods here to use some sort of lubrication or drying aid with that towel. But for that reason, if we're strictly talking about the safest possible way to wash your car, the safest possible way to dry your car off is using deionized water and then using a leaf blower to blow off the excess water and then just let the rest evaporate and dry on the vehicle. Now, I know what a lot of you guys right now are typing in the comments and you're saying, well, a touchless wash would actually be the safest way to wash the car because nothing physical is actually touching your car. And yes, it technically would be the safest way to wash your car. However, a touchless wash does not fully clean your car unless you're just using like straight up acid. So if you want to retain any sort of wax or protective coating on your car's paint, but yet still be able to fully clean the vehicle, you have to use a wash mitt and physically touch the car. Touchless car washes, unless you're using just crazy high pH soaps, which are going to strip any sort of protection from your paint, will not clean the dirt off your car. You have to have physical contact, like I said, which does always risk the potential of causing micromarring or swirls. But by using the tools and techniques I showed in this video, you can prevent the swirls on your car and prevent it from looking like this. But it is important to note that no matter what you do, micromarring can and will occur over time as long as you're touching your car's paint. They are not 100% preventable. And again, I just wanted to show you guys the hood of my vehicle that I have been using these exact techniques on to wash for 2 years now. And as you can see, there is absolutely no swirling and very little micro marring. So with that, we're going to conclude this video. If you guys have any further questions, be sure to leave a comment below and I'll try and address them best as I can. With that, thanks for watching and don't forget, stay glossy.